In today's video, I'm going to share with you my 5 favorite back-to-school supplies. And this is actually a collaboration, a really big collaboration that I'm hosting right now. So let me give you some instructions quickly. Down in the description box below, there is a playlist of all the other homeschool moms, teachers, parents that have joined in this collaboration. Check them out to give you some ideas, some inspiration, some encouragement. So you could just go back, actually have your kids go back to school with that little bit of a something new, something cool. They could be the cool kid. Especially as homeschool moms, we can be the cool moms. You know how it is when you go to co-op and you got that extra special pen that everyone wants to borrow. Aren't you proud? No, seriously. Now these are not just my 5 favorite back-to-school supplies. These are actually geared towards those sensory kids, right? If you have a sensory kid, you probably know they can't stop moving, they can't stop running around, they like to, touch everything, and if they don't have something to touch, they're gonna find something to touch, right? So you need something to help them fulfill that craving for touch without having them destroy your house. So I'm gonna give you some ideas for some great sensory-seeking kiddos. Just a quick side note, if you're ever interested in learning more about sensory processing disorder, I do have a video. I'll put it in the iCards as well as the description box below. It's kind of old, but it's actually pretty thorough. And I also love this book if you want to go more in-depth learning about sensory processing disorder. Sensory processing disorder is very complicated. So using tools, fun little tools to help you, keep your sanity is really helpful. So let me get started with, as you can see, we've already broken in them, so you know that we like them. And I like them for a couple things. Some sensory-seeking kids need that extra bit of smell just to kind of satisfy some sensory needing. It's sensory seeking for a reason. They're looking for something to fulfill that craving, like that touch or that smell or that taste. And if they don't get that, they're constantly looking for it and they're anxious, okay? So this can satisfy them through smell. Now, if you have a kid like mine that likes to just randomly break things, they took one of their pencils the other day and just broke it in half, and I said, why? And they said, I don't know, I just needed to. These are very difficult to break, and also if you drop them, they don't break. See? It did kind of help that I dropped it on carpet, but you get the point. They're durable. Also, when a kid is writing with these, they have a little bit of resistance, okay? And it even helps with those hypersensitive kids, the ones that can't stand extra touch or feeling, the ones that don't want to be touched or hugged, the ones that cover their ears when there's too much loud noise, right? The resistance is actually going to help them become aware of where their pencil, or actually in this case crayon, is. So when they're writing, they feel that resistance and they know how hard or how soft to push. So these are great. Now, if the smell does bother them, there are alternatives. You can get the ones that don't smell. Of course, I have to vouch for Crayola, best brand out there. I'm gonna put a link for both of those down below. I'm gonna call this one item anyway, because I got 4 more. Since we are talking about resistance, sometimes sensory kids need a little bit of weight added to their pencil so they can stabilize it, become aware of it, be able to use it better. Have you ever heard of people who have tremors using weighted forks and knives and utensils and of course pens and pencils? And it helps stabilize things, right? So they're not so shaky with their handwriting or eating. My daughter, for example, she uses weighted utensils when she's in therapy, and they seem to work really, really well. Well, you could do the same thing with writing. You could get weighted pencils, but we got this nifty, is that nifty difty? I just made that up. Nifty dandy, oh, I'm not even gonna try. It's a weight, okay? You simply, there's rubber band that it comes with, like this. You stick that on the pencil, stick the weight on, and then the other rubber band goes on the top, like so. Now, of course, you can adjust how high or how low you want the weight. You can use it as an actual pencil grip if you really needed to, or you can put it up at the top. That's really up to you. but you get the rubber bands pretty close. It doesn't shift around too much if you do a good job pressing them in. And here you have a pencil weight that can really help out the kids with their writing. What's nice too is it's removable, so if your pencil, you're done with that pencil for whatever reason, you can switch out the pencils. Since we're talking about pencils, my next item is a bunch of golf pencils. I think I got a box of like 500, I want to say in January, and that's what I have left. And that's because my kids lose them, they put them in random places where I can never find pencils, they destroy them because I have one kid that just likes to bang with his pencil, bite on his pencil, throw his pencil, and they'll take their pencils and just do that. But I got 500 of them, or I did have 500 of them. The point is, we have pencils, and we're never searching for pencils because I have this nifty-difty bag, and they were fairly cheap. Now, of course, there's the problem of erasers, so I get erasers too. I get a whole box of these erasers. I don't mess around with like the silly faces and the silly designs and creatures or whatnot because they always get destroyed, so why not get the best brand out there? And these are the ones that I get. I'll stick a link down below as well. Why not? There you go, pencil and eraser. The next item I have is a pencil grip, okay? I like this one specifically for several reasons. One, it is a fun little pencil grip, and it really satisfies those sensory, I'm getting all input throughout all of my fingers when I hold this baby, right? And my hands. So my focus is I'm really focused on this area of my body, and I can focus on my writing, okay? This is great. You can also use it on the end of your pencil if you're sick of it and you just slide it upwards if you want to. But if you're in a class, like if your kid, for example, middle school, let's just throw middle school out there, right? They're at the co-op, right? And they just can't sit still and they're going crazy. Well, it's very easy to pull this baby off and just start playing with it and touching it and pulling at it. It's like a cushy. Have you seen those? I think they're called cushy balls, right? You can also, rub it on you or your arms, but they don't make much noise. And I think any teacher can truly, truly appreciate a sensory something that doesn't make noise. It's proven. There are studies proven that a lot of these kids that are sensory seekers, they can concentrate better when those nerves are getting the input that it needs to fulfill it, so it's not constantly seeking it, and they can now concentrate on what needs to be concentrated on. So any type of fidget, right? Really good. I like this one in particular. It's great as a pencil grip. There is going to be an iCard right here. I did a whole video on almost like fidget toys, sensory toys. It's great. You watch that, get some ideas, cheap ideas. And let's move on to my last one that I want to share with you guys. So this family likes to paint, believe it or not, and I got these spill-proof containers from Lakeshore Learning. There's about 10 of them. They come in a pack of 10, and you get those big, giant bottles of paint and just dump them inside of these. And when I say they're spill-proof, obviously you can see the cap is on pretty tight, and of course, I'm on carpet. Why am I doing this? I don't know, but that obviously works. But when you open this baby up, the inside is a funnel, which means that when it falls down on the table, the paint will get caught on the other side of this funnel. So you get my point, right? So you're painting with your paintbrush, you dip it in, you're painting your masterpiece, and you go to dip it in again, and whoops, you knock it over, because sometimes we get clumsy, dumps over on the ground, on the table like this, right? And the paint starts to pull this way, but that lip is right there and just stops it. It's really nice. Plus they're really cute containers. They're color coded, and the paint doesn't dry out, which is really cool. I've had this paint in here for over 6 months. Of course I've replaced some, but for the most part, I have not had any issues with the drying out. So I'm gonna leave a link down below. These are awesome. Now, if I was to share another item, I would share my therapy swing, but instead I'm just gonna stick that video around my face in just a second. But make sure you check out the playlist down below in the description box, and consider subscribing if you haven't subscribed to our channel. We are Homeschool Family. I'm a former public and private school teacher, and I do evaluations for homeschoolers in the state of Florida. My youngest daughter has Down syndrome. We're also dealing with ADHD and sensory processing disorder, and we are talking about homeschooling and how we can do a better job homeschooling. I'm also very into like sharing what's going on in our lives with my daughter, and you know what? Leave me comments. I love engaging, getting to know you guys. Thank you guys for watching, and until then, I will see you in my next video. Bye.